Mm-hmm. Come on, StreamYard. Oh, there we go. StreamYard was a little delayed this morning. So, folks, we are going to talk about one of the downsides of social media. If you are creating content out in the world, you will not only be made fun of for your opinion, for what you do, but yes, people will take swipes at you for the way you look, or in my case, how old I look, which was not cool. What happened, Mark?
Yeah, I'm not sure where this comment came from. I must have missed it, but you posted this on X. So Hal Cunningham 5411 says, has anyone ever studied the side effects of the stress of having millions and millions of debt relative to net worth like Mike and these guys on? To be honest, they all look much older than they are, and I could see being so overextended taking years off your life.
Oh, I have so many thoughts when I read this question. First and foremost, I do think the concept is interesting, right? Because I personally do think there is a lot of stress if you are overextended, right? So let's try to put some numbers on this. If you're building a real estate portfolio and you're anything over, if you have 10 figures, or I'm not 10, what would that be? Yeah, 10 digits, so 10 million plus of real estate, and you're 90% LTV or more, you're one fart from financial ruin, right? One down tick and you're screwed. So yeah, I think there's something to that statement. But there's nobody in my universe that's anywhere close to that. There are probably people that are flipping and all of that, maybe in Ryan Pineda's world where they keep leveraging up and they keep, rolling the dice. But that's not what we preach. That's not what we talk about. People in my world, to give you some context to this idiot, they might own 10, 15, 20 million in real estate, but their LTVs of everybody I know that has 20 million plus is below 40%. So if you're going to call 40% high leverage and think that's stressful, you're a moron. Our rents to expense ratio is like 3, 4, 5x. There is zero stress when you have 40% LTV on a performing portfolio of real estate. So that's kind of my second thought is you have no idea what you're talking about. We're not leverage bros or moon boys or whatever the heck you're calling us. And then the last thing I want to say is the one that it really stung. This last part kind of stung, right? Because again, it's I think all of us are vain at some point, but I don't think I look 53. And again, I live in my body, so I'm obviously clearly biased. But I'm looking pretty good for a 53-year-old, and to have some clown, basically tell me I look older than 53 is, that one stung a little bit. I'm not actually sure why it stung so much. But yeah, I remember reading that going, this little shit found a vulnerability in me and, jumped on it. So I have to take personal responsibility and maybe not be so vain.
Well, you did mention leverage, bro, in your response also just now, but this person, Hans Peterson, commented on from employee to entrepreneur to investor video. He says, isn't there a lot of risk in having 8 mortgages like Mike and the leverage bros suggest? Do they give any guidance on income to non-home equity net worth to leverage ratios? All I have heard Mike and the leverage bros talk about is getting as many mortgages as you can without any context.
First and foremost, they're confusing us. I saw, it's funny. This is a theory I have because I've been hearing this word leverage bro only for about the last 90 days. So I don't know this for sure because I don't watch Crash Bros, but I'm starting to think the Crash Bros are so irritated with me or my community or my world picking on them daily that their counterbalance to that is trying to tell their audience we're the leverage bros. And how the leverage bros are going to blow up. And so this is what, again, if I don't watch these clowns because they're broken idiots. But if that's what I think is happening is I think the Crash Bros are fighting back because they've been wrong for 13 years. They still rent and live in their mom's basement and they're miserable, evil people. But I think they're painting the world that, leverage bros, real estate bros are the problem. And the uneducated people like this commenter don't understand the game. And, there's nothing I can say. Like, if you're in the parking lot and you're a drunk idiot listening to the Crash Bros calling me a leverage bro, you're a moron. You have no idea of how this game works. And you're certainly not a one rental at a time fan or a small and mighty investor or a, lazy landlord fan. And that's not what we do, man. We're not maximum leverage, go to the hill, all of those things. And Yeah, so I don't, it's just funny to me. I really do think the Crash Bros are fighting back because they've been getting their ass kicked for 5 years, and now they're calling us leverage bros. Because it's, again, all they have to do to their broke fans is paint a picture of these other people will eventually fail, and that'll keep their audience broke. That's what I think's happening.
Well, in your response just now, you also mentioned another regular on your channel, Coach Carson. Punakar, who, like we always talked about, leaves amazing comments, but he
Mm.
commented on that video that you did with Coach Carson. He said, I saw your discussion on this topic. So he's referring to, I believe, the Ryan Pineda and Brian Davila video. But he
Mhm.
says, with other guests on your channel, but I saved this comment for your video with Chad because unlike most others, he has more than one tool in his tool belt. Here's the thing, rentals work. So let's put that aside. The question that was raised that you glossed over is there are better options and not for seasoned real estate investors, but someone who is just getting started. Newbies aren't likely to buy commercial properties from distressed syndicators like what you're raising cash for. So it would be great if you could focus your points for that cohort. What was also raised in the interview was that in the last few years, everything did better than long-term rentals, stocks, cryptos, precious metals, industrial metals, nuclear, and more. You also said real estate has a good run and we should expect a decade of blah. So why should a beginner choose residential long-term rentals over other asset classes in these times?
Yeah, Punakar is amazing. Love him. We're so lucky to have him in the community. He's always level-headed. He's far more diversified than I am or ever will be. I love everything about that man. I'm lucky enough to talk to him a couple of times, and a lot of things that he says there is absolutely right. But again, I'll go back to what I anchor on. You got to know thyself. And again, I think a newbie needs to pick their thing, their lane. I don't think you wake up in your Punakar who has Class A rentals, short-term rentals, I believe. He's got an amazing stock portfolio. He's a somebody who watches the charts and makes trades and is been doing these things for decades. And sometimes when you do things for decades and you're that good at it, you forget the muscle memory and the energy that puts into that. I don't think a newbie wakes up in their Punakar. I really don't. I think you have to pick your thing. And I'm not telling anybody what to do. I say all the time, I don't care what asset you pick, but become the best at it. Get focused, daily discipline. Again, step 2 of the wealth formula is become elite. I don't care what you choose. If it's single families in Fresno, if it's multifamily in Tulsa, if it's classic cars, if it's sports cards, if it's stocks, if it's commodities, I don't care what it is. Just become elite. And that takes focus and discipline in years. So again, why? I think real estate over the last 100 years has been the way for most average folks to get wealthy. And again, I'm not talking about replacing income. That's where Ryan Pineda and I go sideways. My goal was to buy 4 rental properties at 30 to 35. So when I was 65, they'd be owned free and clear. That was my big vision. And I still think that is the vision for a lot of people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's not timing the market, it's time in the market. And the last thing I'll say is there's amazing deals being done all the time. I think 2026 is going to produce more great deals if you do the work, if you follow up right offers, and you make your money when you buy. So, again, to me, I mean, everything he said is absolutely true and valid. But again, if we're going to talk newbies, please pick your lane and become elite.
So Punakar also left another great comment on your video with Dion. These dangerous beliefs are costing you.
Mm.
I won't read off all his list that he gave. If you want to go read, you can check it out on that video. But the last part of it, he put, this one makes me think, what about a potential video idea that could go viral?
Mm.
Beliefs that stall people who get to seven figure from achieving 8 or 9 figures. Maybe a ton of people won't need that advice, but many will click for entertainment purposes.
I missed that. Or if I read it too fast because it didn't stick in my head. I'm glad you brought that up. I think that is a wonderful idea. And frankly, again, I'm all about self-inspection. This is probably an area I struggle at because again, I have this baggage of having nothing. I've obviously had a more success than most, but I don't. I'm sitting down, right? I'm on the mountaintop enjoying the view. But, that's not for everybody. Other people would want to double what I have. And I do think that's a wonderful topic. Probably one I could riff on with several different people, like 2 or 3 times to get different opinions. Like I think Anna's answer would be different than, Cody's answer, for example. So I have to go back and find that one and put it on my idea list. And yeah, you can look forward to videos on that topic. Probably after the event. But yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I think another video that got a lot of good feedback was your video with Beth Traversal, and I think a lot of
Mm.
people are hoping you do more of those type of videos. So, Angel Race 646 says if you do those kind of videos with audience members while still remaining authentic, unlike Ramsey, the views will probably skyrocket. Can't hurt to try.
I'm 100% down to do it. I've said it publicly. I'll say it here. If you are willing to share your portfolio, basic things. We're not talking addresses and anything crazy, but just basic stuff, and we can record it so I can post it. I am happy to give away my time. In fact, I did one yesterday with a gentleman named Mike, I think in Ohio, that should be coming out today or tomorrow. I would like nothing more than talk to my ORAT family who are at some point of their wealth building journey so that I could answer their questions and help others in similar situations. I would love to do, shoot. I don't know. I would do 3 a week if people were willing. So if you want to reach out and you have to let me record it. Let me be very clear. If you just want to get a hold of me and ask me questions and not record it, no, I don't. My life's amazing. I don't have to do that. But if you want to record it so I can post it for others and they can get some benefit, dude, I'm down. I'll do 3, 4 a week. So DM me on Instagram or DM on Twitter. It's probably the best way to get hold of me because most people don't have my cell number. But yeah, I'm down. I would love to do nothing more of those.
All right, that's an awesome availability for people. This one I've never seen. This is an interesting one. It says, Mike, have you talked to your old coworkers this week? I think they're about to become roadkill. So this was on your daily financial news margin call.
Yeah. So the answer is no. I don't know if you guys realize this, but whenever you retire financially free, um, that world disappears. And it's crazy, right? I did 20 years in the industry. I thought I had great friends, but they all disappeared in 7 seconds. I haven't talked to a soul from my software other than Dan Bird, but that's because he's on my channel. Again, he reported to me at the old shop, actually the last 2 shops. He's the only one. I don't talk to anybody. And yeah, back to the kind of, yeah, there's a chance that, I worked in the SaaS space. I turned perpetual software into term licenses. And yeah, I think a lot of them are in trouble, not just where I work, but I think there's a lot of other places in trouble. So, but no, most people don't want to talk to me because they're still in the rat race and grinding, and I ejected. And I don't know if it's envy or jealousy or hatred or whatever it is, but no, I don't talk to anybody from my old career. In fact, I have, folks know that if they watch this channel, my mom's in town. And one of the first conversations we had was, Yazuber, that's what she calls me. I have a small circle. Like I don't talk to anybody from high school, anybody from college, anybody from work. If you're not in my real estate world or one of my millionaires, I just don't talk to people. So again, I keep a very tight circle.
Well, talking about your tight circle, I think it was great to see you. You did a interview with Lynn, Jack, and Sarah.
That
So you
was that
also,
was my that just sorry to cut you off, but that was one of the funnest interviews I've done in years. And the reason it was fun and unique because again, I've been on some really big channels, the Iced Coffee Hour, Ryan Show, all these other places. But honestly, they don't know me. They don't know my stories. So it's repetitive for me. The ability to talk to Lynn, Jack, and Sarah, who have heard all my stories and thus could ask me different or deeper questions, that was fun for me. So let me say this here. If you're in my world and you have a channel and you want to create some content, I don't know why you haven't reached out to me. Ask me to come on your show. I would love that. That was the funnest discussion because they know me and we can uncover new things. So if you have a channel and you haven't invited me, shame on you. Let's fix that.
and I found it funny that everyone likes to refer to me as maybe the one that causes a lot of trouble in the community. But Lynn had a great time poking at you about doing another interview, I believe, with Ryan
Yeah.
Pineda. I remember. So
Yeah.
she felt comfortable enough to do that, right? Like
Yeah.
to keep
Good
poking you
for
about
her.
that.
Good for her.
But this comment was from Andy, who's also in school, who's going to be at the Vegas event. He said, "Great video, Sarah Goggins, Costco, Lynn, and Jack's one-liners. This is what makes this community great. Thankful to hear the ORAT celebrations will be continued."
Yeah. Again, man, we have such a good crew. They all kind of are the same go-giver, fun. Our community is comfortable in their own skin. They own who they are, and they're willing to help. Right? They can go from being Sarah Goggins to giving you a kick in the pants, and Jack, making these little liners, and Lynn having a lot of fun. I got to admit, I don't know the Costco joke, but it's kind of an insider thing that I must have missed. So you have to tell me about that someday. But again, I want to see nothing but our community grow and prosper. So again, folks, if you have a, I don't care how big it is, you have a channel and you want to, set something up, I'm here for you. I would like nothing more than to have somebody that knows me and my stories from 8 years. I can just imagine that next level of questions, because if I'm on these big channels, we always stay at that top level. I want to go deeper, right? So I would like nothing more to have my family ask me more questions.
All right, we'll wrap it up with this one. You shared this on X this week. This was from Mark and Mel team. It says, "Love it, Zuber. Your job is the key to get out.
Hmm.
Realistically speaking, after watching market shifts since the 50s with my parents' real estate investments, along with appraising real estate myself since 1988, Zuber is the only realistic and humble teacher of them all. Appreciate all this group's communication and authenticity."
Yeah, I think that really anchors on the fact that I'm not trying to get rich selling courses or visions or all of that. My goal since video one was to create a legacy that outlives me by 50 years. That, I get, there's so many things because I operate very much aim, ready, fire, aim. I just believe in action, doing. Um, Two things that I think I got right, thankfully. One is the name, one rental at a time. I think that is the right that's right for us, our world. And the second thing was that first video where I said I'm trying to create a legacy. So as long as that keeps being the North Star, um, we're going to keep doing that. It's not about the money. And again, I tell this all the time, but all these freaking guys come to me going, "Zuber, you need a $10,000 mastermind, or you need a 7,500 this or that." And I'm like, "Guys, God, stop it. I don't want to hear that. That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not who I am. You guys, we're playing a different game. I don't need another $1,000,000. It's like, it's just, and it drives them crazy. You can see their face like, fucking Zuber's stupid. I'm like, guys, we're playing different games. It's crazy.
Well, actually, I have one more. It's not a comment, but I am in Vegas right now, and I had midnight Denny's meetup, Dion's and Millennial Mike's meetup last night. I had this. I shared this on Instagram. It was a reel. It said the most attractive trait isn't looks, wealth, or status. It's energy. Energy is
Mm.
contagious. Spread the kind you want to catch. And someone messaged me after seeing that reel, and they said that's exactly what they kind of picked up on or felt at the meetup last night. It was just this whole bunch of energy. There's probably about 30 to 40 people there, and it was
Damn,
just
that's
yeah, it
awesome.
was just a reunion. It was fun.
Yeah. I actually think that's what makes one rental at a time special, is that vibration, energy, whatever you want to call it, that seems to permeate everyone. And again, what I love watching, because the community in school is almost 550 people now. It's still continuing that. I look forward to that. And again, I'll say it here: if we ever get to 1,000, I'm going to give away my big course, How to Get Started One Rental at a Time, for free inside school. Right? We already did Get Your Money Right, which was my second biggest course, but I'll give away the big one at 1,000. And I would like nothing better than to do that, because then it's all about school for me, which is priority one in the community. So yeah, I think we do have. I think we are unique. I think the vibrations and the ability to attract more people is it's only getting more. So I'm ecstatic.
I think there's going to be a bigger turnout tonight, also tonight for the Thursday one. Not
Oh,
everyone is in town yet, so Thursday is going to be a little bit bigger, I think. So I think
yeah.
hopefully
Do you
they're
guys
ready for
like how
us.
big is the Denny's? I've never been there. I mean, how many is it? You guys take up
It
half the room?
Yeah. So this was the first time at this Denny, so that's also why it kind of moved, I think. So
Yeah, yeah.
this
Well,
one
it moved to the
was
strip versus the seedy side of town, so it's now on
yeah.
the strip, right?
Yeah. So it was a big place. Unfortunately, the I guess the manager that was working, he had two new chefs and two new waitresses working at that time,
Oh,
but they got it done. They helped us out a lot, and they were great service
nice,
there. So
nice, nice,
yeah, I'll
nice.
see you in a few days. Was everything finalized for the event?
I have 4 more PowerPoints I'm chasing down, but other than that little frustration, it's all wired in.
All right, I'm excited. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, family. Take care of yourself.
Okay. Bye.